deployed by bus to a strip mall on Rodeo Road, spelled exactly the same as Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. The running joke in some parts of town was how far apart the two streets really were. Rodeo Drive's sleek boutiques and Mercedes-Benzes epitomized the Southern California good life, and the chief of police and residents there made damn sure everyone knew that Beverly Hills was not in the City of Angels. I bet most of the tenants on Rodeo Drive didn't even know about their poor relation that runs through what black folks call the West Side, less than 5 miles southeast as the crow flies. My rodeo, although pronounced the way the cowboys do, was no less treasured than Beverly Hills's. Shopping centers and moderately priced planned communities on the western end of the street gave way to soul food joints, strip malls, and solidly middle-class homes to the east. At the corner of Rodeo and La Brea was a busy commercial district. I bought my first .45 record, that is, Fontella Bass's Rescue Me at the record store that sat on the corner. And down the street on La Brea was the Baldwin Theater, where I went on my first real date. Rodeo forked to the left at Dorsey High School and through a neighborhood of post-war tract houses whose identical twins in what white folks call the West Side would command at least 100,000 more. A little further east were blocks of vintage Spanish homes, including the original residence and beautiful rose gardens of Mayor Tom Bradley and his wife Ethel. 2 streets separated by a few miles and a lot of money. In those days, the RODEOs were competing in a grimly fought battle to see who would survive the hell of the last 48 hours. With a chief of police who served as a former aide to Chief Gates, I was betting well-staffed and well-patrolled Beverly Hills Rodeo would be the hands-down winner this time around. That day, my rodeo looked more like a war zone than a major thoroughfare through middle-class black L.A. Its smoldering rubble was a symbol of the largest civil insurrection in modern American history, and I had been powerless to stop it. I couldn't stop the torching of my record store, up in flames that first night along with several black-owned businesses. I couldn't stop the multiracial looters who scrambled for merchandise at the Fedco store, giggling like kids fighting for candy from a piñata. And I couldn't stop what faced the score of us who pulled up in our armored bus, a day late and a bullet short, to another devastated strip mall whose windows gaped at us like a toothless drunk, and whose erstwhile customers were removing their and everybody else's dry cleaning without presenting a ticket. It was a little after 3 in the afternoon when we arrived, and by 4 we had apprehended and restrained a rainbow coalition of looters with the plastic handcuffs we were using faster than Kleenex in the flu season. After the suspects were transported by prison bus to the emergency holding facility, I threw myself onto our bus and stretched out in the first row. Opposite me was my new partner/trainee and the only other female on the bus. Genoveva Cortez was an entry-level detective, a Detective 1, or D1, we call them, and a recent transfer to headquarters from South Bureau. Cortez was a lot like me when I got my first assignment at Parker Center, the LAPD's headquarters over 11 years ago. Intelligent, assertive, naive as hell. But my first assignment at Parker Center was as a grunt in press relations, not the LAPD's renowned robbery-homicide division, and my baptism by fire came by assisting the press relations commander with the media on a VIP homicide, not trying to work homicides while the whole city went up in smoke at the rate of 3 fires per minute. She was dealing with it, though. Made me understand why they chose her to be the second woman to join RHD, which up until my arrival was a very exclusive, as in white-only, boys' club. But homicides, even the demanding high-profile ones RHD handles, have a way of ignoring gender and color lines, and female detectives had made contributions everywhere else in the department. Why not RHD? So it was finally determined, after much gnashing of teeth and wringing of hands, that even the LAPD's crème de la crème had to change to keep up with the times, ugly as they were. But the kind of thing Cortez and I were doing during the riot